Now, let me go back to Halloween Haunt a little bit.
Sure.
Like I said, and I'm not lying. I ain't gonna lie. Is that that's like one of the favorite places of all time to be, man. I remember going there when I was a teenager, which was a long time ago. Shut up.
The dinosaurs roam.
Shut up, fool. What are you wearing? And then, just that atmosphere to me.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh,
As a guy who, I've worked every Halloween haunt since '94. I went as a guest '88 or '89. Had a great time. You get to walk through the park right before it opens. That's my favorite time because the fog is rolling in
Yeah.
and the soundtrack kicks in and you see all the monsters sort of shuffling into the position. And I feel like the guy in Apocalypse Now, I love the smell of scare fog in the evening. And
yeah.
you just breathe it in. Oh yeah, there's no feeling like it in the world.
I loved it so much. I actually worked there. I worked in the mine ride when.
Oh, what year?
Jeez.
Yeah, what year?
Shut up, stupid. It was. I don't know. You remember Rob Spencer?
I have no idea.
That's a long time ago. I think it was in around the '90s. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah, he was in charge of me, and I hate to say this, but I was connected because back then you don't get people hurt and stuff, so we had to be connected.
Oh
to
yeah,
the wall.
you have to be tethered because
Yeah.
in the mine ride, you can't get close to the train.
Sometimes it goes like real fast.
I used to see. I would give the pep talk to those people,
Yeah.
and you have to wear a belt and a harness, and the harnesses or the tethers are all completely measured so that you are stopped before you get to the train. Because I would tell them, look, if you take your harness off and that train grabs you, no one will help you because they'll just think that guy's really good
it's part of
as
the
he's
act.
being eviscerated. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
So, but once in a while, I unhooked it and walked around. Yeah, I know.
Shocking.
That really scared people, man.
Oh, I'm sure.
And Rob was a good guy. He told me, he was all like, Dave, you can't do. Oh, did I say my name? I'm the Night Shadow. He said, Night Shadow. Hey, some things don't change, Armando.
It fits on a name tag.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You can't be doing that, man. But he kept me around just because I was his best scare at the time.
Oh, I bet you were great.
I was. It was even work to me, man. It was like, I'm getting paid for this. My best thing was when it was going slow at the time, and at the end of it, there was a cholo dude with his girlfriend. And so I got, close to him. They were going real slow. And he was just like, he was all cool. Just sitting back with it, like, it's like, it ain't nothing. So I reached over, and I going, to him. Hey, what's up, Holmes? Like, can't be doing that. But it just got me mad because he was just like, they can't do nothing. Which is not, let me tell you, people out there, you do not do that. That is a bad liability. I apologize for doing it. It was a long time ago. But he had it coming to him because he thought he was cool and stuff. And I was like,
We used to have actors in Kingdom of the Dinosaurs.
Uh-huh.
The last year of Kingdom of the Dinosaurs was around 97, 98, something around there. It was called Kingdom of the Lounge Lizards. And it was a comedy maze. It was funny, which it looked great. The T-Rex was dressed as Elvis and sang Elvis songs. And
I think I remember
the saber-toothed cat was done up as Siegfried and Roy, with Roy being eaten by the saber-toothed cat. It was very clever. Now, the people in line didn't know it was a comedy maze. So they're waiting 2 hours thinking that they're going to get scared.
Yeah.
And the maze was not scary. So at one point, you pass by a comedy club with a brick wall and the Laughing Pterodactyl Club or something. And we hired a guy to be a comedian. He had his tether on, not to get close to the ride. And we had a heckler there at a table heckling him. And one of them, he got so bored that he wasn't telling any jokes. He was simply insulting the cars as they rode by, right? And I turned to him at one point and I said, you're going to get in trouble here. Oh, no, I'm fine. I said, not by me.
Yeah.
I said, by the guests, because he was calling anybody who wore a hoodie, he would refer to him as powder. Do you remember that movie Powder?
Yeah.
Which is, it stars like a child molester. And I said, that's not a compliment what you're doing. And like, it's such an obscure thing, Powder, right? And he would make references to their girlfriends and stuff. Now the thing is that there was one car on the ride system that housed a wheelchair, guests in wheelchairs.
Oh.
Well, that one took longer to load. So what would happen is a car would come by and he would just be merciless to them, and then it would stop while they loaded at the dock. So I said, his name was Adam. It's not giving anything away.
Yeah.
I said, Adam, they're just sitting there and you're berating them. And all you have to do is lift up the bar and kill you, and you're attached. You can't even run away. So there's dangers on both sides with that, you know?
Yeah, there is. But that is kind of funny, though. I wouldn't do that.
Oh, it was great. It was fun. And you know what? As a theme park, like I grew up in Southern California, so Knott's, I used to go on Berry Tales and then Kingdom of the Dinosaurs, Disneyland. Any chance to actually walk through the attraction, that was the greatest. I used to love that.
And I think a lot of people don't know that you were the mastermind of Trapped.
Yeah, yeah. If you went through Trapped, Trapped ran 2013, 14, 15.
People threw
No,
up in
12,
there.
13, 14.
People would throw up in that.
Yeah,
place.
well, I used to sit in meetings years ago, and any crazy ideas for haunt, and I go, I have one. A maze that costs money, and that immediately turned people off because you're already paying for a ticket to get. I totally got it.
Yeah.
But I said no. The gimmick is that you go in the maze, the doors close, and you don't see any other guests. Because a lot of times you go on a busy night, it's a conga line through the maze. And you can see like the monster up ahead, scaring people and resetting. You don't get that what I want, which is, I always go back to classic stuff. There's an old Little Rascals episode where they go through a haunted house, you know, or the one from the Ed Wood movie. I want one of those haunted house experiences, and they don't exist in the modern day unless you're willing to pay a premium.
Yeah.
So once we got over that hurdle, the idea was we're going to do things to you in here that we can't do in the other mazes because of the time constraint. So yeah, we got people to put their hands in toilets and eat bugs and drink urine and... Let me tell you, the last trap that we did, the third one, was one of the most exciting and in-depth projects I've ever worked on. I am so incredibly proud of what we did there. The crowning achievement was opening night. We were oversold. It was mobbed. And the thing with Trapped is you paid an extra $60 on top of your ticket to go in. So I felt personally responsible to give people the greatest Halloween experience of their lives.
Yeah.
I did. And we were completely overbooked. So the park closed at 1 that night. The last group, it was 2 guys, they were heavy metal guys. They looked like Insane Clown Posse without the makeup, right? They finally came out at 2:45.
Oh, they get lost or what?
Well, no, the line was just so long. We couldn't move people through. And I was prepared with an apology and whatever. And they looked at me and they said, it was totally worth it. And I took the whole crew and cast and I said, we did it.
Yeah.
These guys waited 2 to 3 hours to get into a maze that they paid a premium for.
Exactly. You know,
and they loved it.
It's worth it. You know,
Yeah.
It was something extra just to take that extra step, you know, into the world of Halloween Haunt. And it was worth it.
And it was fun to like really, because normally in a maze you get 3 to 4 seconds with an actor before you move on. This was much more intimate and up close.
Yeah, I had to put my fat little body through them little holes and stuff like that. And
are you talking about year one with the cage? You're talking about the rat cage?
Yeah.
They built this rat cage that people had to stoop, except I stood upright. I had everybody going, oh, the rat cage was terrible. I said, it was fine. I don't know what the problem was.
Did the maintenance people get pissed off because people were throwing up and they had to clean it up all the time?
Well, you know what? The first year of Haunt that we did, you had to eat a bug, and then we put we put buttermilk and cottage cheese together and poured it out of milk, so it looks like gloppy, spoiled milk. And we made people drink a little shot of it, and they would drink it. And the problem is that buttermilk, it doesn't go down your throat, it stays. So they would get so hyped up drinking it that they vomited everywhere.
that makes
And
me wanna
so
puke right there.
about day 3, I said, look, it's the greatest thing ever. I mean, I'm excited. That's what we want, right?
Yeah.
And we had to cut it just because of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one was the final year that we did it. The finale room was you had to hang somebody, and then you got hung yourself. We had people lined up. We put hoods on their heads. We put nooses around their necks, and then the floor dropped.
Wow.
It was the greatest finale. And we have cameras everywhere. It looks like Jurassic Park. Like they're entering the T-Rex paddock. Here we go. So we're watching it all, and we see a girl with the hood on and the noose, and she's shaking, and we're all like, wow. It looks like, again, it looks like that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where Marion's drinking and everybody's got the money going across. And so the money goes across, and there it is. She completely wet her pants. Just flood. And we all looked at each other. I looked at my second in command, and I said, we've done it. We've done it. We made a guest so terrified she had to urinate.
Wow.
That's what it's all about, Charlie Brown.
That's exactly right. You're saying, like, that's my goal right there. I did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, listen. People come to Not Scary Farm to get the best scare they've ever had, something they will talk about for years to come. I take that thing very seriously. The projects that I work on, I want them to be the highest quality, and I want people to get terrified.
Yeah.
I want people to go, I have to get my money back and leave. That's how scared I want them to be. I mean, that should be the goal.
That's why you have fanatics like myself that just love knots.
Yeah, where else can you step into a horror movie?
And Knott's Halloween Haunt is known for its horror hosts.
Oh, sure. Well, we started with Seymour.
Seymour. He's one of the reasons why he became one. And
we started with Seymour. We moved on to Wolfman Jack, and finally Elvira and Ramon Azteca and Ed Alonzo, the Crypt Keeper. Yep. And the last couple of years we've had Elvira back. It's been really great.
Boy, she looks good still.
Oh, Elvira looks fantastic. I work with her pretty closely, and I've seen her 100. Oh yeah. I've seen her 100 times, and every time I'm just like,
yeah,
that's Elvira.
She's like,
oh yeah.
Not too big of a fan of her manager, Scott.
Is there a story there?
There is kind of.
He's always been a gentleman to me. I think he's a great guy.
Bring it up now, but I don't know. I think they get me confused with Neil because Neil used to be a very big fan, stalker of Elvira. So I remember one time we were Knots went to Hollywood High one time for she was going to be there.
Oh my God, you remember that?
I was there.
Were you really?
Yeah,
I hosted that.
Outfit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was there, and I remember 3 people coming by, and then they had security, and they were like, "Who are you?" And I'm all like, "Oh, I told them I was going to be there and everything to get permission to videotape and all that." So I just heard somebody was like, "Oh, we got to watch out, make sure that guy's not in here."
That guy?
And so I knew who they were talking about, and I'm all like, because weren't you like supposed to be the male version of Elvira? Yeah. Neil? Yeah. Yeah, see, he's like, so I'm going like, no, I am much better looking and bigger than him. So they let me go. But
that was
a long time
97,
ago.
I think.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
They put me in a full skull prosthetic and drove us all up to Hollywood High to do this Monster Homecoming, I think it was called. Mm-hmm. And I had to go up and give a speech and then introduce Elvira. And I had been with the company 3 years at that point, but no one really knew that I had improv skills and I could think on my feet and nothing shakes me. And so right during the speech, all the bells start ringing in the school because there's still a school in session. And of course, all of marketing takes in a breath. And I simply waited for the bells. The bells went off and they finished. And I said, every time a bell rings, a demon gets his wings.
That's you know what I remember.
And then I continued, and it was just one of those moments they all went, "Oh my God!" And I said, "You just have to keep going." Yeah.
And I interviewed. There was a girl that dressed up like Carrie, and she was all soaked in blood.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I was interviewing her.
The Monster Homecoming.
Yeah. So, but let me just say, Scott, I'm still, even though I suck, no one knows me. I'm still the longest running horror host in Los Angeles. So, that was a curse right there.
Hi, Scott.
I'm sure he's nice to you and everything. Like me, it's like, who is this dude with a mask on? Like, and I know you got to take care of her, man.
Sure.
I hear there's weirdos that are.
No.
Not you, Neil.
No, not me.
No,
I had a great moment where she had a good friend of hers, Paul Rubens, in.
Yeah, Pee-wee.
And so she's standing there, and Paul Rubens is standing there, and that's my childhood. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the scene from the movie with both of them in it. I remember I just handed my boss my camera, and I said, I'm going to step in. You just take the picture. So I got the picture for like a second, and it's one of my prized possessions.
Using
it's
a
that
biker bar, right?
yeah. It's an idea of transcending the movie, and like it's one thing to get a picture with Elvira, one thing to get a picture with Pee Wee Herman, but both together, that's a win.
Exactly. Well, say your book again.
The book is The Sixth Key. It's available on Amazon.com, and if you want to hear me talk endlessly, you can look up my podcast, 91 Reasons, on iTunes or Stitcher or even on YouTube if you listen on YouTube. But I do a podcast where we talk about pop culture and I give my opinions on things, and I basically reveal to the world that I'm a complete a-hole, and I have no problem with that. Right?
Wow,
no problem with that, right?
Man, we're just like two peas in a pod right there.
Because you have to be an a-hole to stand in front of a camera or a microphone and go, here's my opinion and you should care about it.
That's
because
right.
most people don't do that. Normal people don't do that.
That's right.
Normal people.
That's right,
Yeah,
cutie.
Normal's overrated. If you're normal, switch the channel. It's not for you.
Yeah.
One guy talked to me about my show and how he didn't like this, and I just said, well, then don't listen.
Exactly.
It's easy. Turn
What
me
have I
off.
said all these years. We used to do the show live in East LA for almost 20 years. Every week, once.
Hey, and congratulations on being alive.
Remember Armando?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Cholos would call up, man. Your show sucks, man. Were you watching it then, stupid?